we do have a bit of breaking news, and this actually just broke on Friday. So I did want to briefly cover this before we get into the main event this evening. And that is, you're like, what the heck is going on? JOANN on Friday announced that they have a new interim CEO, and they have totally revamped the board of directors. So that's pretty big stuff. So I did want to briefly mention this and get to this and let you guys know. And I thought it was kind of interesting that they released this news on a Friday. So if you're not aware, I used to work in media. I worked in media for about 15 years. And JOANN did what I call the Friday news dump. And you're probably like, Jen, what is the Friday news dump? So when a company or any organization has news that they consider not good news, like it's typically something that would be perceived as negative, they will release it on Friday at like 5 or 6 p.m. So the reason they do that is because they don't really want a lot of press attention, and they also realize that media outlets don't have a lot of staffing on the weekends, so they know they're not going to get as much coverage as they would if they had released that same press release on like a Tuesday or a Monday or anything like that. So in the news business, we call that the Friday news dump because that's basically something they would release when they don't see that as good, which I thought was kind of interesting from JOANN's perspective. I suppose you could say this, like, do they think this is a negative that they have a new board of directors and a new interim CEO? So since JOANN has filed for bankruptcy, there were two other executives that had been acting as the co-interim CEOs. I believe Chris DiTullio and Scott Sekala, I believe. And that is ever since the former CEO of JOANN, Wade Miquelon, retired last year. So JOANN hasn't officially had a permanent CEO for about a year now. And they now have a new interim CEO and a new board of directors. So let's take a look at this press release here. And yeah, they put it out June 7th, Friday. Interesting timing, I'm just saying here. It says, JOANN announces board of directors and interim CEO. New board brings deep experience as company enters new era of creativity. I like how they have to put the word creativity and like everything. All right. JOANN, the nation's category leader in fabric and sewing and one of the fastest growing competitors in the arts and crafts industry, announced today the appointment of Michael Prendergast, a managing director in Alvarez and Marshall's Consumer and Retail Group, as acting chief executive officer of JOANN. Michael is an experienced executive who has helped companies transform successfully and has served as an interim leader for other retailers. Chris DiTullio and Scott Sekala, who served as co-leads of the interim office of the CEO since May 2023 and led JOANN through a successful and expeditious Chapter 11 process, will continue their leadership as Chief Customer Officer and Chief Financial Officer, respectively. A search for a permanent CEO is underway. In addition, JOANN is pleased to announce the appointment of a new board of directors as it moves forward as a stronger private company. The group brings deep experience in business and retail to the organization and will offer valuable guidance and support to JOANN's existing senior leadership team. The new board members are Mary Campbell, Joe Hartzig, Daryl Horn, Michelle Israel, and Bill Wall. We are honored to join what is truly a new JOANN, and we look forward to supporting the company and its leadership team in its mission to inspire creativity, said Daryl. All right, fun times. On behalf of the board, we'd like to thank Chris and Scott for their extraordinary leadership through the past year. Extraordinary leadership? The stock price plummeted and the company filed for bankruptcy. I don't know if I would call that extraordinary leadership, but, hey, that's one way to put it, right? Which has brought the company to its strongest financial foundation in many years. We are confident Michael's expertise in retail will help the company continue its positive momentum while we commence a search for the new president and CEO, and we look forward to a bright future for this unique brand. So here is the About section for Michael and then the board. Now, here's what we're going to do. I think we're going to do a deep dive next week into all of these people and the new interim CEO and the board. Because they released this only a couple days ago, and I actually only saw this today, I didn't have a lot of time to start doing my research, but I think we'll do more of a full show all about the changes. The other thing I did notice is that Joann, usually on the investor website, which is this, you can usually access the page for the Joann leadership and the Joann board of directors, and those pages currently appear to be down, and I believe it's because they're probably revamping and updating those pages. So hopefully by next week we will have updated leadership and board of directors pages so we can see more photos of these people and really get a background. Here's another article from Chain Storage Co. I don't even know. Most of these articles are behind a paywall, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So here's another article about the same thing. I mean, this is pretty much the same information. And it's interesting how it's like, after exiting bankruptcy, Joann has named a new interim CEO and new board of directors. Fun times here. So here is the new interim CEO. So his name is Michael Prendergast. Now, what do you guys think? First impressions, what do y'all think about Michael? This is the new leadership of Joann Fabrics. Can he turn it around? God only knows. Like, seriously, we have no idea. So he works for this firm called Alvarez and Marshall. They appear to be like consultants for retail, from what I can tell. So says he has over 20 years of leadership experience from the fashion and consumer products industries. So I'm like, okay, I've never heard of this guy before. I guess, hey, we can call should I send him an email? He's probably not going to respond. I don't know. Yeah, he's probably not going to respond. And what's funny too is I went to his LinkedIn page and he doesn't have any on his LinkedIn, he didn't have any other experience listed except this one place. So it looks like from Alvarez and Marshall, he goes into different companies and serves in leadership or management to turn them around, I guess. So he says he recently was an interim CEO of a 700-store, $500 million annual revenue, U.S.-based women's multi-category retailer. I think this was something called Francesca's, I believe. He was also the CEO of a I love how they have all this corporate speak. It's like youth-focused, fast fashion multi-category company. That sounds like something a consultant would say. Yeah. He was the CEO of a $400 million annual global celebrity lifestyle brand. I gotta roll my eyes at some of this stuff. I also like how his education, it says he has a bachelor's degree in business management from the University of Phoenix. Isn't that for-profit school that's online? And completed executive training courses at the University of Chicago Booth School of Business. No MBA, not even an MBA, dude. I don't know. I have a friend of mine from college is in the C-suite of a large corporation, and he has his MBA. My friend has his MBA. Why doesn't this dude have an MBA? That's all I gotta say. So here's another little thing. It's A&M, consumer, and retail. This looks like the most generic businessman, on the, this guy looks kind of generic to me. No offense. I don't know. I don't know. Do we think Michael can turn around Joann and save this? Yeah, I don't know. Does he look like he knows anything about fabric or crafting? Can he figure it out? I don't know. But this is the most generic looking dude I think I've ever seen. No offense. No offense. I'm just yeah, the University of Phoenix bachelor's degree, that's not... I'm not trying to dog him, but I've just read a lot of articles. I've heard the thing is, the reputation of the University of Phoenix is not exactly the most prestigious, educational institution on the planet or anything. That's all I'm going to say. So this is Michael. He's in charge. He's running the ship at Joann's. Can he turn things around? So, all right, let's look at his bio. This headshot. Also, do we think he's really blonde? I don't know. I mean, I guess he could be a natural blonde. I have no idea. I'm not a natural redhead, so, no judgment there. Mr. Prendergast is considered an innovative leader who understands how to identify top-line revenue growth vehicles while maximizing profit within complex organizations. This was written by ChatGPT, I swear. He has a proven track record working across all major retail segments: wholesale, retail, e-commerce, licensing, and M&A. He is an expert in the successful operation of processes throughout the supply chain, from product concept design through delivery to customer. He has extensive experience in finance, production sourcing, design, merchandising, digital, marketing, stores, Salesforce optimization, and customer acquisition / retention. So he was the interim CEO at Francesca's, and I looked it up, and it's this really hokey looking women's fast fashion website. Maxima Holdings LLC, Youth and Entertainment Division Iconics, Group President of Chaps by Ralph Lauren, and the Senior Vice President at Tommy Hilfiger. So here's his latest insights. Should we read his? Okay, should we look at some of his? Let's see if this is worth reading. I don't know. Oh boy. All right, so here's some of Michael's insights. Moda operandi is fundraising in a tricky luxury e-commerce space. So he was quoted in Modern Retail. It says, Michael Prendergast, managing director in Alvarez & Marshall's Consumer and Retail Group, remains bullish on both luxury and e-commerce, but said the third-party marketplaces haven't yet figured out how to bring the two together the right way. All right, let's see what else. Okay, he was in a podcast. Should I listen to maybe this week, upcoming week, I'll listen to the podcast. Okay, in this week's Omni Talk Fast 5 Retail News Roundup, sponsored by the A&M. Okay, I'm going to have to, all right, this upcoming week, guys, I promise you, I'm going to dig more into Michael. He went to I'm like, dude, the University of Phoenix, really? Yeah, I don't know. In this week's Omni Talk Fast 5, this is one of those, I swear, this is one of those corporate podcasts that no one listens to. They discussed if Macy's made the right move rejecting its buyout offer, Innovation Labs, like Walmart's store number 8, how Wayfair's recent leaks and layoffs estimated the viability of IKEA's new plan and order a store concept, and the Sephora Kids phenomenon. Oh boy. All right. Yeah, I'm really curious about some of this stuff. Okay, and then the other one, Silver Generation. Okay, so it's basically how older people are the wealthiest. Fashion's wealthiest generation is also its oldest, and as its ranks expand, there are opportunities and challenges for an industry that largely ignores them. Silver Generation customers in the United States seem to get passed by, said Michael Prendergast. Gen X, he said, is particularly invisible in the fashion industry. When Gen Xers were coming of age in the early 90s, I think a lot of attention was paid to them, he said. It was part of a whole revolution, that late 90s edge driving a lot of fashion and culture. Then they were kind of forgotten about, and it's been kind of quiet. Now they're reaching their peak earnings years with potentially more disposable income to spend on fashion. Wow. All right, so this upcoming week, I am going to be looking more into all of these people. Hopefully Joann updates the leadership page and then the board of directors page. We can see photos of all these people. And I'm going to see what I can dig up. Here. And the other thing I'm interested, because they have new leadership and a new board of directors, is Joann's going to make any more drastic changes? Last year, they did a lot of layoffs. They demoted people. So what do y'all think? Any predictions? We'll see what pans out. on what direction this new team will take and what kind of changes they will make within the company, because they've got to make some changes. You know, a lot of the creditors are now owners in JOANN because JOANN owes them a lot of money, and you know, the investors want to get a return. So we'll have to see what happens with this, but I thought it was interesting. I'm also like, the Friday news dump, like, if this is supposed to be a good thing for the company, why do the Friday news dump? That's, yeah, I gotta say, I'm not sure about that.